Welcome to the Match View, our weekly debrief of Leeds United's weekend action as part of the Leeds View daily news and podcast. We're part of the TalkSport fan podcasting network. If you want to support the channel, you can do so by liking and subscribing on YouTube or following and giving us a channel rating on any of the audio platforms. Joined by Paul and Gerry to digest what just became a very standard Leeds start this season. Rock up on the first game, score a set-piece goal, leave with 3 points. How easy is the Premier League this season? Wasn't easy for everybody. Some clubs had a bit of a struggle with some of the more promoted sides being mauled by small kittens somewhere. That's Paul and Gerry. Join me again as always. Check in with the boys. Paul, how are you?
Good. I'm really, really good. Thank you. I am just a nice, relaxing weekend. I felt physically sick half an hour before kickoff, but other than that, it was absolutely brilliant. Just standard, just the nerves. I'd not felt that for a little while, so my body wasn't used to it. But overall, good. A really nice weekend. It's nice to be the calm side of stuff. It's nice just to rock up and get the business done. We've got 50% of our wins last season already chalked off this season, so long may it continue.
Yeah, nice to get the first away win out of the way. And against a side that I think will be pretty evenly matched with. Well, before we set out to Gerry, what we will get into today, I meant to say this at the start at the top of the show. We'll talk about the match in detail. We'll also give the Finalysis player ratings there. So if you want to get involved in the Finalysis player ratings, you're 24 hours after a game finishes to get involved in that. Download the Finalysis app. It's completely free. You can follow me and Paul over there as well. If you want to submit your ratings, you can. We're also going to have a little bit of a chat towards the back end of this on Mykhailo Mudryk situation, which changed very quickly from my 9:30 news this morning till this evening, and is changing again if you were to believe the report. And we'll also have a brief little preview about the EFL game, the cup match against Nottingham Forest again, which I believe is tomorrow night. So these are coming thick and fast. Gerry, how are you?
Great, yeah, lovely, sunny, warm day in Nottingham. Very pleasant. Happy with a draw. And even happier with a win. I thought it wasn't the greatest ever game. Neither team played well, but it was gritty. And we are the sanest team in that league. You look at that weekend of football.
Bonkers to say that out loud, though, isn't it?
Yeah, you look at all the other teams and their flux and players coming in, coming out. Yeah, we'll have a couple doing that, but it's not really going to affect us fundamentally. It was a very pleasant day. I love the way Trafford came out and he just looked at the crowd and he went. When he was warming up, just before kickoff, as if to say, "I get it. I understand you. I'm a bit of a header as well. Was Irish for being a bit mad, Paul." And I thought, yeah, that was good. One of the most important things I was asked from last week was not about football, but I need to give a mole update, don't I?
What's the story with the moles?
The moles are underground.
Comments last week that were saying, "What's the story with the moles? What's the update?"
They're trapped underground. I haven't seen them for about 5 weeks. They can't burrow through concrete, which is good. But I'm sure I've seen a hole coming through the other day. The ground's solid, isn't it? Bit of rain this week, so I'm expecting them to come back and renew hostilities anytime soon. But yeah, they're still there somewhere. Maybe they've just moved. Maybe they've gone to a softer part. I don't know. But yeah, I'm sorry I didn't update you. But yeah, all good weekend. Great. We're dropping down. We're crashing down the table. Though we're now 8th, which I was glad that Newcastle and Liverpool got that late equaliser. That kept us up there. And as I say, just observing, not just in the Premier League, but what's going on. Teams in the Championship, Leicester in League One. It's all mad, and we're just fairly normal. And we had a lovely day. And what I liked at the end was, when the players all come over, and usually somebody gives the whoa, and all the new boys did. They put them on. Even Alvedi was put out there, and I think Trafford was desperately trying to push Cairns out, but he didn't want to play. But it was good. Everybody was happy. Great to see old faces again. Everybody's fitting well, and good day out. And back there tomorrow again for more.
Yeah, just a very nice feeling going into the weekend. And again, you're right. There's just a maturity about Leeds right now, which I've said this before. I'll say it again. My history and lifelong Leeds fandom, I'm a little bit apprehensive when everything's a bit calm because I'm always assuming there's going to be a grenade go off somewhere. But right now, everything does appear to be relatively calm. There may be a grenade. I'll talk about that tomorrow morning on the news. Not getting into it now, but we'll talk about it tomorrow. But yeah, interesting game, Paul, because I think in my review, the way I tried to look at it was split this game into two sections. Let's look at the defensive performance first. We had brand new goalkeeper, brand new centre back in Tarek in there who looked really, really solid. James Justin at left back, Bogle at right back, and then Bial being Bial and Joe Rodon there. But included in that, because Anton Stach had a game of two different sides as well, which Michael Maynard on our membership pointed out, as probably off his game as Anton Stach appeared to be, his defensive numbers were one of the best in the side. So if you look at the defensive performance from Leeds, even the lads tracking back and working to win the ball back, it was a really strong defensive performance from Leeds. I didn't really feel nervous at any point that we were going to concede a goal. They seemed to be very much have the whole thing organised. Trafford made the easy things look really easy and the more complicated stuff look relatively easy, which is, again, just nice to be able to watch the Leeds match and go, I think we might actually be okay in this one. Yeah,
I made a video on it about saying, is this one of the best defenses that we've had probably in the last 20 years, even, post O'Leary era? Are they that good? And I've gone through everybody in turn and talked through everybody in turn. We have a very, very, very competent defence. And it starts from, obviously, the keeper. The keeper breeds confidence into the rest of the guys. The guys know that they can do something. Joe Rodon actually looks at Trafford like he likes him, which is the first time in ages we've had Joe Rodon looking at one of our keepers that he likes, which is always nice to see. You've got Biol he just shuts people down. He loves the physical aspect of it. He's so good. Tarek Murahamovic is unbelievably good. I don't care what anybody says. I think he is a phenomenally good defender. He is brilliant. His pace, his control of the ball, just his overall confidence. There's a touch of swagger about him as well. I just love everything about that. That Rodon Bihol Murahamovic 3 is unbelievable good. I'm trying
Who
are you kidding with that pronunciation?
I'm trying so hard. I've had people message me on my videos going, it's this. I get
it every day.
Vich, and I'm trying. So Terry. So just Terry. That defense. But then you've then got Bogle. You've got even Justin as well. But Goodmanson, when he comes in, you can tell when Goodmanson's out of the squad. As good as Justin is, and he's a fantastic cover. He's brilliant. He never puts a foot wrong. But just that a little bit of attacking prowess we do miss out on. I don't think that Bogle had the best game. I think he got better as the game went on. But just as a solid defensive line, I think I just like you, I'm watching it going, I actually feel really comfortable with this. And then you've got Stach that comes in and helps. You've got Ampadu that comes in and helps at the same time as well. There's the transitional changes of being able to move and reposition ourselves in the way that we play. It just makes you feel so much more confidence. From a defensive point of view, we were nearly perfect at the weekend, in my humble opinion.
Yeah, and I do think it's right to point out, because we would normally say if we had a weird first game, give these players time to bed in. It's only one match, blah, blah. And this is still only one game. So the sample size of it is pretty small. So we don't want to lose a run of ourselves.
No.
But yeah, we are looking at on the face of it and on its own merits in this game. And considering we went to the City Ground last year and came home with a 3-1 thumping, and looked way off the pace of the game in that particular match. Getting to go there this year and just being that competent. And again, we'll get to the attacking side of it in a minute, but just defensively very competent. And I do accept, by the way, because someone's going to say it, there were a couple of moments. There was Igor Jesus' header at the back post. But again, if you look at that, I think James Justin knows I can't win this ball, but just jumps across his path to block his vision of the ball, which ends up being a decent block. And then there was when Trafford has to make a save, he makes a save. So, all things considered, it's still a very decent performance.
Yeah, no, I was. You can't knock it. I thought, as I said before, it wasn't classic performance, but it was very gritty, dig in, winning 1-0 away from home type performance. As you say with the defense, I thought Biol played like the Bond villain that he is. He was winning everything. He just was good. Tarek. I'm sad that he's got rid of the Joel Perreault tribute headlights, hair lights, or whatever you call them, headlights. Yeah, that was I couldn't pick him out so well, but
him and Bial I kept mixing up because they kept smashing into people, and I'm going, there's Bial again. Like, oh no, that's Tarek. But we got two of them that look the same, and they're both smashing into people.
Yeah, but what he does, and we saw it straight from the pre-season, he's competent winning the ball and then distributing, and he's not just get it and welly it forward. And he had a header, which he was very unlucky with. Yes. I think if you do fancy football, I'll get him in your team because I think he'll grab a few goals. Rodon. He did get a head injury at one stage, which is is tick for every game bingo you do. There wasn't so much. Somebody said that Calvert-Lewin didn't have any service. We didn't get the wing backs going up the Bogle and Justin. It just wasn't that sort of game. I think they had to tuck in a bit more. So that's why we probably weren't had so much going forward. But neither did Forest. I mean, if Chris Wood is on a run, he probably scores that goal, but he didn't. Trafford, as I said, he's got a swagger about him. He made that save early on. He obviously there's a tactic that he picks out Calvert-Lewin from his long clearances and picked him out more times than not. And when he gets on the ball, I'm nervous when a goalkeeper starts messing with the ball, but I was less nervous with him. His footwork's pretty good. He'll drop one next week after me saying that. So I mean, with the defence, Stack, we were all saying Stack was off it. Everybody says that. A couple of poor passes out to Justin. Ball was some poor passes sometimes, but when he's got that in his locker, though, and he went for that corner because everybody thought he's going for the top corner. He's going to which looked obvious, and the keeper maybe should have done better, but probably wasn't expecting that. And Stack, he's got a lot of confidence, but I love the stuff he does on social media. He's good. He's just a good character. He's click marked too, I think, as a lot of people have pointed out, and generally throughout the team. Nobody was brilliant, but you're not thinking somebody had a bad game. Brendan, great game. I thought Brendan was buzzing around. Harry Wilson, he seems to be getting a bit of criticism, but I thought, yeah, okay, in the circumstance in this game, he's fine. He's fine.
It's a system. It's a system thing with Wilson. He's just got to get used to it. Once he's got used to it, he's fine. The only mistake he made at the weekend was going for that ball. Had he not gone for that ball, Calvert-Lewin would have put it in, and the goal would have counted.
That's just split second stuff. Well, and then Okafor,
I would argue that as well, by the way, as a former striker.
Yeah.
I'm screaming at him to get out of the way. You're off, mate. Get out of it. And that's Calvert-Lewin's job, to tell him from behind, you're off, pal. Get out of the way. Don't touch this. Yeah. So, sorry, Gerry.
Finish was good. The finish was good, though. Good finish.
Yeah, we thought we couldn't see what was happening really from our Okafor when he came on. 2 contributions, one given a free kick away at the corner, and then one when he was running through made the wrong decision. But then you could see him on the ball, and he got that going down the wing, and you thought, yeah, these guys, these are not subs, they're finishers. Whoever's coming on and off. Longstaff the same. We could see that it was going to be one of the forward players, and just shored all up. All common sense, all good stuff, and Perry on the bench was an interesting one, but I can see the logic in that. You put your he's best keeper outside of Trafford, so put him on there. The likelihood is he's not coming on, and that's what you do. So I was really pleased with the whole thing, and a nice warm feeling after a very competent performance. Forest, the stat was we've not won there in the top flight since the Reevy days, and I can only remember that was the Gary Speed game, if you remember that.
100%.
Which beat us 7-3 in the return game. Then there was a League One game where Beckford scored in the last minute, and my lad, who was only about 6 at the time, jumped up, and I was in the Forest crowd, so that was interesting. And the last time we won, Alioski and J. Roy Grott were playing, and we won 2-0. That was 9 years ago. So it's not a happy hunting ground at all. But Leeds fans were paying tribute to Brian Clough, and I didn't know Brian Clough worked in the banking industry, but apparently the Leeds fans said he did. So that was all good-natured stuff. And they've got a song about fog. They sing about fog coming in, and it's Mull of Kintyre about fog. That's how insipid they are. Anyway, that was my take.
Anyway, yeah, I was only asking how the defensive played, but no, that's everything.
I know. Sorry, I went.
No, I love it. Paul, let's talk about the attack because I do want to get to the
I
changes.
already have.
Well, you've laid the groundwork, Gerry, for what's
Yeah,
going to
yeah,
follow
yeah,
with this.
yeah.
And
We're
you reminded
looping
me to talk about
around.
the changes.
Looping
We
around.
are like a good Billy Connolly sketch. We'll get back to the
Yes.
point in a few minutes' time. We'll go for a little adventure first.
I'm talking about moles again. No, go on.
Paul, you've got a.
Sorry. Go on, Paul.
I'm not going to say it was a stunted attack. Dominic Calvert-Lewin very, very closely marked. They weren't giving him any kind of space, and when he was dropping off to try and link the play, they were on top of him. Like he was being smothered, which was very clever. You've got Brendy and you've got Harry Wilson both chucking in field as these. And I'm going to bring the same back. I'm going to bring the position back. Inside forwards.
Yep.
2 inside forwards behind Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I thought for the first half an hour, Harry Wilson looked really, really good. He was dropping into half spaces, picking up the ball like a natural 10 and trying to link the play. Second half, that space got far more compacted, which made it a lot tougher. I think if you look at his performance as a whole, they played very quick, very fast breaks, and the ball was always in front of them. One of the things that was annoying me, niggling at me on Saturday, was Anton Stach's passes going behind players when we got counter-attacks. Ethan Ampadu did it once or twice, although I thought Ampadu had a fine defensive game. So did Stach. Brendy on the left-hand side coming in on that right foot, that's a new thing I haven't seen before. I don't not like that. I quite that shot that he took as well, he hit that well. So yeah, and Daniel Farke talked him up today as well, saying he's a player getting better every month and he's coming into himself now in his later 20s. So a very different looking Leeds kind of attack. I agree, we do miss Gabby Goodmonths on that left-hand side for those bombing runs forward. But probably a game of, well, you're away from home, let's not lose this first and foremost. And if we can nick it, let's try and nick it. But, a point on the road's not a bad result either.
No, the issue with the attack is that we all know, you said it before we came on air, the 4 years we've been waiting to get a number 10 and it's still not in position yet. That's something that we do need. And it's clear we need that player that can sit between the lines. That's something that we haven't got, the Morgan Gibbs-White thing. What you had was 2 very evenly matched sides on Saturday. And one of the things that you have to give Glasner credit for is in the second half, you mentioned it yourself, is that they got a lot tighter on Calvert-Lewin. So that ability for Calvert-Lewin to bring it down and play it off the inside forwards that were coming in was nullified to quite a severe degree. So consequently, that little change that Glasner did, that's why the attack went quite numb for me in the second half. Now, do we need something to come into that to help us with that? Yeah, I think of course we do. You could see as soon as Okafor came on, there was a difference because, I mean, I love Okafor anyways. I just wish that his fitness would go over 60 minutes, but he's brilliant. I love Aronson's industry. I love his devilment. I love his guile. But just that difference maker that can do something a little bit different, that can take a player on, that can pull a player left and right and create space, or can bring a cross out of nothing like he did for Mahovic's header, then I'm trying. Don't stop it. So
why is not any better, Paul?
So that little out of nothing creating a little bit of a cross, that there's that little bit of difference. And while you've still got Harry Wilson getting up to speed, I'm with you. I thought Harry Wilson was fine in the first half. I thought Wilson did a really good job of tracking and changing and moving and pulling into space to give, I mean, the space that he ends up giving Bogle to run on the right-hand side for the cross that ultimately led to the offside goal. If that's on the left-hand side and Aronson's doing that, you've got Goodmanson that's then absolutely bombing it up the left-hand side to then put the ball in. So that it will come.
Unseen detail, Paul, because that's a player doing something without possession and off the ball that's creating space for somebody else. So it's nearly unseen as to what his impact on that moment is.
Yeah, 100%. You generally don't notice it, or people might not notice kind of different things that are going on. And it's one of the things that...
You follow the ball.
Yeah, you follow the ball. You don't follow what players and things are doing. It's one of the things, top level players, they know how to use space and they know how to run into space and they know what's happening and they can second guess things, like the game against Osberg where, Leipzig, where Calvert-Lewin did the round the corner pass for Justin to run onto to score. That's already in his mind that he's going to do that. He can see that Justin's made the decision to go. So he's just, flick it round, go, done, dusted, finished, brilliant. So it will come. It's the first game of the season. The level that we're playing at is different to what the pre-season games are. We are very, very evenly matched with Forest. I was interested that their 40 million signing didn't make it on. That was interesting. But overall, yes, we need to do something about the attack, but I'm not massively concerned yet.
Yeah, and we got plenty of goals last year with the attack that we had. The concern is always, I was talking to Joe Blackburn about this today as well. The concern is you've got Creswell and Leno on the bench, and for me, I think ideally they shouldn't be there. Not that there's any issue with their ability, but they need to go out on loan and play football. We can't have them just sitting around on a bench and not playing for the 21s and not playing for the first team. So they need to be going out and getting loans and playing football and developing, which means Leeds are still light too. Now, again, you bring in the injured players of Goodmunson and Nando to that, and all right, fine. That bench starts to look a bit chunkier, and then you bring Gruev back into that as well, and it gets it. But we still have to replace Piru. We still have to replace Sam Byram in that bench as well. Like, there's still bodies that have gone off that bench. There's a bit of depth that's missing there, and you are a DCL, Harry Wilson, Noah Okafor three-way injury of being very light in that attacking area, and that could. And again, it is just ifs and or buts, but you've got to plan for that as well. You've got to look at it and go, well, if we do get an injury, do we have enough? We didn't have enough last year. When I argued in January that we probably needed another number 9, Leeds going after Strand Larson in January, said they needed a number 9. The comment on Isaac Johnson's page now, if Leeds are happy with their final third right now, I'm not buying that for a second at all. So there is still work to do there. But in the meantime, we do know there's goals there if everyone is fit. So not the end of the world. Gerry, want to ask you about changes because you started the ball rolling on this. Daniel Farke will live and die by his changes, and we're into a football season, and already we're ready to criticize or we're ready to point out what's right and what's wrong, and it's the natural flow of things when it comes to watching football. The changes were made at the weekend, and he will live and die by his changes and his formation and his approach. For me, he got it bang on the money this weekend, despite the fact that when he took off Harry Wilson, I went, why is he taking off Wilson? I mean, automatic assumption was you don't take off a difference maker in the team or someone with a set piece like he has. You want them on the park in case you get moments. Not realising that Anton Stack was still on the pitch. And the key one there for me was that he doesn't make the decision to take off Anton Stack when pretty much universally everybody was saying, oh, we need to bring Longstaff on here for Stack at this moment in time. And he doesn't. He says, no, I'm going to persevere with it. Obviously looking at his defensive side of his game, thinking he's doing well. And then he gets that moment and he bends the ball into the corner, which even if Sells should have done better, and he should have, it's hit with an incredible amount of pace. And what Stack does really well in that situation as well is he's teeing that up for the far corner. And if you look at Matt Sells' positioning from behind Stack, he's gone all the way across, expecting that ball to go there because he tried it a few minutes earlier and wasn't that far away from it. He's caught him out there, so it's clever work by him as well. Yeah. So you look at the changes, not a huge amount made. Brings Longstaff on when he needs to, brings Okafor on, and I thought Okafor changes the game a little bit. Again, to Paul's point, he's attracting more attention, which is freeing space up for other players to maybe to get on the ball a bit. Stack wins the free kick in that area as well, where there's a bit more space to play in all of a sudden. So I think he gets his changes right, and a more case of making sure he left someone on the pitch to take that free kick from where he did. Because even if Wilson was on the pitch, he's not a right footer, so he's not taking that free kick in that from that angle. So yeah, well done to Farke, and interesting changes, and earning his money as a manager to not bite as early as maybe we would have.
Yeah, well, he did 63 minutes, so that's early for him, I suppose, the first sub. But I must admit, when I saw Longstaff coming on, I did say to the guy, I think it'll be one of the attacking players, because at that stage you're thinking shore it up, because Chris Wood had come on. You could see his story being written there, couldn't you? That he's going to come on and score the winner, and was it Ina was getting what he didn't create much was in there. So I thought it was right time, on the basis that we happy with a point. So but yeah, that could go wrong or it can go right. It's just you have to have belief in your own management ability, and I think as time goes on, Farke is. I think there's a confidence about Farke these days, even the way he does his press conference and the way he's joking about no money being left for his contract, and he's joking, and it's good. Yeah, he doesn't give much away, but he's controlling the conversation. So and in bringing Okafor, I say a finisher, someone who's not fully fit, but we know what he can do. So I could see why he did the subs, and I had no problem with that at all. And Stack, well, isn't he the player who scored most goals outside the box last season? Yeah, that's
he's got a 40% conversion rate from his free kicks. He's taken 10, scored 4.
Yeah. And you look at I saw a montage there, the Wolves one, the Villa one, the couple of ones, the Palace one was a weird shot, but he's got the confidence not to do it, and the ability to work out. He'd had that sighter just before where we all thought top corner. This lends itself to top corner, and as you say, the goalkeeper thought that, and it was a great bit of innovation there. Before I forget though, and we haven't really mentioned, Ampadu is excellent as well. We seem to just, my man the match. We seem to take it for granted, but he's absolutely, he just controls it. Again, a player that's got that confidence, which it probably exudes from the manager and the way we're playing, and our quite calmness that we got at the club at the moment. But he is the fulcrum of it. But no, changes are it can go wrong, but I think Farke more times than not gets it right, even though we don't always agree or want them earlier sometimes. But I had no problems with that, and I think it'd be interesting to see what he does tomorrow night in that respect.
Yeah. We'll talk about that as well in a few minutes. Yeah. I suppose we get to the player ratings on this as well, Paul. So these are the Finalysis ratings. So these are voted for by Leeds United fans and Leeds United fans only. And you can see that a moment like the Anton Stach's goal all of a sudden gets him an 82 out of 100 or an 8.2 out of 10 whenever you want to look at it. And it's, there's recency bias in that. I don't know if he's getting that if he doesn't score. But James Trafford with an 82 as well. The statistics are up on screen there as well. That Football 365 published 1 clean sheet, 3 big saves, 44 touches, 10 recoveries, and 10 accurate long balls. And again, Ethan Ampadu, talking about off the ball stuff, Gerry makes a very good point. I thought Ethan Ampadu was fantastic. One wayward pass in the first half, but after that, wins his little balls, protects the back three, nicks the ball off a couple of people, keeps it simple, keeps us ticking over. I like when he does it with limited touches. Did that really well. Joe Rodon's falling into this. There are people saying that he looks shaky. I don't see it personally. No. I think he looks like an app. But going about their jobs just in a relatively calm manner and getting on with it, no highlighted errors really, and no highlighted maybe standout moments either. But that's what you want. Just go about and do your job well. 7, 8 out of 10 every week would be nice very much. But the ratings there, Stach gets man of the match because of the goal. Leeds player of the match was given to James Trafford. I thought Ampadu was my man of the match personally, but then I like the simpler, calmer things in a match as well. But your thoughts on the ratings as you see them on screen there? I'll give them, to the lads listening, by the way, 82 for Trafford, 76 for Rodon, 78 for Bial, 78 for Muharremovic, 74 for Bogle, 82 for Stach, 79 Ampadu, 74 Justin, 71 Wilson, 72 Aronson, and 71 Calvert-Lewin. Sean Longstaff with a 69 and Noah Okafor with a 70. Paul, discuss.
I had Stach as my man of the match, and it was purely emotional because of the free kick that he scored. Genuinely, it can be that simple. But when you look at it, I mean, the thing that I loved about the free kick more than anything is like you said, is that he set it up. He absolutely did exactly the same thing against Villa, and he did it again in this one. He makes the eyes, pushes Sells across the goal. The wall, he must have done his homework on it because he splits the wall completely, goes right between the two players, and it's postage stamp. It's absolute. There's nothing that Sells can do when he gets across because everybody goes, "Oh, he could have done better." But it's just he's too far over to the left hand side. Yes. So, but then when you look at it from the other way around, I would have given it to Trafford. I would just purely because of his calmness, his assuredness, the 10 accurate long balls, the 3 big saves that he made, all of that. That for me. That's what I want to see. That's really, really good to see. It's not that he's had a hard game. It's that he's done the things that he's supposed to do absolutely massively. And then he would have been followed by Ampadu on that one 100%. I agree with you. I really like the work that Ampadu gets through. I like what he does. I probably wouldn't have had Bogle as high as that just purely because I don't think he had his best game. It wasn't bad, but just it wasn't his best game overall. But I can't really argue with the rest of it really.
No, I mean 78 that's a good score. Like it's just shy of an 8 out of 10. Like, Gerry, decent ones across the board. I don't want us ever to get to the stage where we ignore or don't view the simple things being done really, really well. Like that back line, just all 3 of them were fantastic. I thought. Yeah. I mean, Bial and Muharremovic, I couldn't make out which one was slapping who around at different points. But just great to see 2 very physical centre backs that can pass the ball. Igor Jesus kept quiet by Jakub Bial only for one moment. And even on James Trafford, there was that one catch where he dived out over the top of everyone and just made it look really simple and just took the pressure off. And then when you do look at the big save that he makes, I think it was Jesus' header again in the first half where he goes full length and makes a very, very strong save. And one little thing that was missed by a lot of people, I think, was the Milinkovic's header that hits the post. He's full length for that, but gets up so quickly to just nearly almost basketball reject slap in front of him that puts him off, and he misses the header then. So like small little things like that, but made a huge impact.
Yeah, we were just right behind that, and I noticed that he got up very quick and he sort of bundled into it. And keepers have to do that. Yeah, those sort of numbers there, I'd concertina them a bit in and out, because I think it's moments that get probably the high scores with Stack. I think he's probably a bit lower than that. And I agree, Trafford it's the things, the highlights you notice. But I would still give Be-All and Ampadu, but it's just minor, And the forward players, they had a tough time with it. I'll tell you two players that had a tough time dealing with it was Rodon and Bogle, because in that corner in the first half was a pigeon on the pitch, and he didn't move no matter what was going on around him. Anybody who was at the game, did you see that pigeon? Because he was totally unruffled. I'm not joking here. This took our attention more than anything else. And so the pigeon from me got a 7.8 as well, because just of his pure unflappability, if that's the right thing to say about a pigeon. I don't know.
That's perfect.
But, yeah. One thing we probably haven't mentioned was the tackle on Justin, and we were calling for a red card. We had no idea what happened. We couldn't see. I've seen it afterwards, and I thought yellow was about right. It was a clumsy challenge, but I've seen him given, but I don't think it was enough, and I think the player, he just whatever, he wasn't maybe in control, but it wasn't a.
I'd argue that I'd say it was a red, because he was off the floor, studs high for me. Same as the one with Milenkovic onto Stack as well. I don't like the way that.
I actually thought that was worse, but if you do go down that line, then Calvert-Lewin was lucky as well, because at one point Calvert-Lewin puts his studs through his shin of a player. So like there is those moments. But what I will say is it's nice to see the referees not overreacting to a player's foot being slightly off the ground, because in full speed it's a natural movement to put your foot down, and your studs can't come down. What I think for Aina is, I think he gets red carded if that left leg makes contact with James Justin, and he's a lucky boy that left foot just went past Justin's leg, just misses him.
Just about
I think he catch. I also think if he catches him, he breaks Justin's leg in that situation. So there's an argument for intent, but we have seen them given, seen them ignored. In general, I like not to see red cards being given for physical tackles, because I missed the physical game.
Yeah.
So in one,
Rob Jones, he gave that, wasn't him who sent strike off when Harvey Elliott got accidentally injured, and he was fussy in parts, but. I've seen worse refereeing, I suppose. It wasn't. I mean, the Forest fans were saying, well, the ref's on your side. And I thought, well, he's giving it to you a bit. So if that's the case, then he's probably doing all right. It wasn't the worst. Nobody's talking about the ref. Let's put it like that. So,
yeah, fair. Okay, right, Gerry, staying with you before we start to wrap up. EFL Cup clash tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Likely to be a very different looking Leeds and Forest team. I think Forest will give their £40 million centre back a run out in that game. What do you expect to see from Leeds, or what do you want Daniel Farke to do with the group of players he has tomorrow night?
I think Farke traditionally goes strongish. I think you might have 6 or 7 of those players. Goalkeeping wise, you don't want to risk Perry if he's on the verge of leaving. So I'd expect Trafford to play. Probably the new Elvedi will come in. I hope we'll have a look at him, maybe on the midfield Longstaff, Tanaka, and Metch up front. But I think we'll have 6 or 7. And their midfielder Gibbs White, he's out, I notice. And they speaking to Forest fans today, they tell me they're 2-3 weeks behind, and they need to make 3 or 4 big signings this week, which probably Forest known for it. So they're still a bit behind us in that respect. So I'd expect a strongish team, and let's hope we don't repeat last year's second round.
Oh God, no!
You remember that awful striker we signed? Come on, Calvert-Lewin had a night now. We got
mystery
what have we 3 sitters and a penalty, which was part of the eclipse of the sun last week. We thought, oh no, it was awful. But it just shows you it in the sense it doesn't really matter what happens, but we want a cup run, and I want to win every game. I want to win. Last time we played Forest in a cup in the League Cup was in 1977. Broke my heart, beat us in the semi-finals over 2 legs. The Cloughie era and all ex-players, McGovern and O'Hare and all. I remember it so well. I thought we were going to Wembley. Terrible. But anyway, I think 6-7, and I think we'll go to penalties.
Don't ever use 6-7 again, please.
I was just
realised what I said.
I'm surprised you didn't do this.
Yeah. I don't even know if that is. No, I saw
that came out of your mouth so easily as well.
It did.
Because I don't know. I'm from 1977, so I wouldn't know. I've heard that term. Yeah, 7 or 8 players probably will play from Saturday. Yeah. And we'll like Okafor now. We'll get a run out, but we have a strong enough team. Maybe one of the young lads might get a go. That'd be interesting to see. But not a total B team. No, I don't want to do that. We want to go in with a fighting chance, and both teams will be making the same number of changes. 7 or 8. 7 or 8. It's not something new.
7, right? Yeah. Slightly older, our version of it. Paul, there's an argument to be made to try and keep a couple of guys in that side because we've got that stupidly long international break coming up with 3 weeks as well now. So this is a preseason for some of the guys that got back late. So you want to probably see Noah Okafor start that game and get some minutes. James Trafford, I wouldn't be dropping him out of the side. Probably needs more time with the players. Again, missed a couple of preseason friendlies. Same with Maharmovic, same with Elvedi. Get them in, get them playing football. I don't think you overly change that one too much. Maybe give Brendy a rest, although Brendy's a couple of weeks behind as well, so maybe he starts the game. But there's an opportunity there to just keep them ticking over, and they've had plenty of a break between the weekends action as well. So it's not like they're being asked to play in the space of 3 days again. They've got a nice break from Saturday to this one, and then another nice break till the weekend, and they're gonna have a couple of weeks off, some of them anyway. So why not max at the minutes now?
Yeah, I agree. I think Linnau will probably play on tomorrow night. I've just got a feeling that he'll get put in. I think Farke really likes him. I think I don't think Stack will play. I think Longstaff will come in, or Tanaka might come in. Ampadu will play because he's captain, so I think he'll definitely be there. I think Okafor will start. I think Wilson will start as well. I don't think Aronson will start. I think Aronson will get brought on later on in the game.
Yeah,
he'll probably start with Metra up front. Maybe we'll have to wait and see how that one pans out. But there'll be a couple of changes, but I don't see it being
not last year's.
Yeah, not like last year's. I don't see it being like that at all. I see. I can see Elvedi coming in. Yeah, I can see Elvedi coming in. I'd like to see Rodon managed a little better this season as well, not having to play.
You've got the option now. You've got the option. I mean, the way they're speaking about Elvedi, Daniel Farke saying he asked the players what they thought of him the first couple of sessions, and he's had a full preseason. So, I mean, clearly he's impressed. By the way, sidetrack before we get to the final story to talk about. I have never heard Daniel Farke speak about a player the way he is speaking about James Trafford. Ever. He said on Saturday, when a goalkeeper has a clean sheet at this level, it's world class. He didn't need 10 unbelievable saves, but had presence for us, natural aura and confidence. And then the press conference today, again, he says that he has an aura, and you look how he carries himself around the club, real confidence. I've never heard Daniel Farke talk about a player like that. Then you hear him talking about Nico Elvedi as well, and he's talking about how much he's, they wanted to get him on the weekend to get a minute or two because, he came into preseason. I came into the training camp straight away and was like, wow, look at the levels of this guy. Best header of a ball probably in the squad, despite the fact that he's a couple of inches smaller than some of the bigger lads. So you look at that and you think he's really starting to get a team that he feels is his and embodies what he wants. So fascinating to see what he does. I'm looking forward to getting Elvedi into the squad. The last thing we want to talk about is the Mikhail and Mudryk stuff, because I did the news early this morning. I thought we'd give an update on it because it's changed so quickly. By the way, it's changed again as of 15 minutes ago, according to The Athletic. So the Mudryk stuff's interesting. We'll get to the personality stuff real quickly in a second, but just to let you know where it was, Leeds went in with a second loan bid. Apparently Ben Jacobs said it was rejected. Paul had said to me when we went live tonight that Ben Jacobs was kind of rolled back a little bit to say, well, it's not off the table completely. Just they're still talking. Now, The Athletic have come out tonight, Liam Toomey and Baron Cross, and said Leeds see Mikhail Mudryk as a high ceiling with an excellent technical level and explosive physical presence, which they hope to revitalise at Elland Road. There will be a financial cost to meeting at least a percentage of Mudryk's wages, but Leeds see limited risk in acquiring a player like this on loan without any permanent strings attached. Leeds sources sense that Mudryk is very keen on coming to West Yorkshire, but Chelsea are keener to send him to Strasbourg. Mudryk's preference is to stay in the Premier League. He is prioritising that over interest from several other clubs around Europe this summer. So this doesn't sound as cut and dry as he's off to Strasbourg, because the player is like, I don't want it. Now, yeah, I'll tell you how we'll do this. We're going to park the attitude stuff. We're going to park the problems. We're going to park the ban. We're going to park all of that because it's all secondary to whether he comes to Leeds or not in the first place. That's up to Daniel Farke and the club to manage. They clearly feel they can manage that. By the way, he's on about 100 grand a week apparently. So if Leeds paid 50-60% of that, he's still not even near one of the top earners in the club. So could be a decent bit of business with a loan fee on top. Paul, where do you sit on this? I mean, I don't personally ever see him in a Leeds United shirt, but they seem relatively confident.
If he's available and we can stop Chelsea from posturing, which is what I think Chelsea are doing. I think they're posturing with it, and they're trying to play a little bit of hardball. And like you said before we came on air, they want him to go to Strasbourg because Strasbourg, they have a little bit more control over playing, payment, wages, all of that kind of stuff. Whereas with us, we would have a little bit more control over what's done. And I would hope that he would be the type of player that would say, well, no, I've got to force my way into a squad. If I want to go somewhere, I have to force my way into a squad. Now, like we said, we're going to park the attitude for a second. That's what we want to see from the player. We want somebody that's going to come in and do that. He's very, very talented. He's extremely fast. He's a very, very, very good player. I think the move to Chelsea, for him, was probably one of the biggest mistakes of his career, just because it's Chelsea. Not that I don't like Chelsea, but Chelsea have this habit of chewing up players and spitting them out, unfortunately, the same way that happens at Man City as well. So for me, if a deal can be done, yeah, just get it done. There isn't a risk associated with it when you think about it. Yeah, there's the wages that we need to pay. If he's not up to the task, then he's not going to play. It's as simple as that. But I think
if he goes to the dressing room, he just goes back. Yeah,
100%. It'll just change. I mean, somebody said to me, "I've got 2 words for you, Facundo Buonorte," and it's like, yeah, okay,
yeah, okay.
I can counter that by saying he made the mistake by going to, and this isn't against Chelsea, but he made the mistake by going to Chelsea. Had he come to us, he would have played loads. He would have absolutely played loads. But he made the mistake of going to Chelsea. He wasn't playing. He wasn't training very well. So by the time we did get him in on loan, he was overweight. He wasn't fit. He wasn't ready to go, and he had no match sharpness. Yeah. So that would be my countenance for that. But for me, yeah, I'd of course you'd take him. He's an elite level player. Yeah, he's been out of the game for a little while, but of course you would.
Yeah, Gerry, how do you feel?
That's the hokey cokey transfer, this, isn't it? Depending on what time of the day it was today. It was up and down. Did you know Dundalk actually scouted him 11 years ago? And I'm not joking, because when they were playing in Europe, yes, he came up on the radar. Obviously, that's as far as it went, and knew he was a real talent, and he went there. But yeah, that is a true story. But as Paul says, he's a talent. If he's coming and he has to designated, he has to play, then forget it. Nobody can come, and I don't think it's the player saying that. It's probably Chelsea. Nobody can come into a club and say he has to play. You can't have players getting into the team because that's in the contract. And I'm sure if that's the case, he won't come. I don't think Farke or any would stand for that. It's as well. He has to fit into the no idiots in the dressing room, I think, is very important. I don't know much about his personality, and he's obviously been through the ringer a bit. But if he's coming as as Paul says, an elite player, yeah, you got to have him. But let's hope it's nipped in the bud tomorrow, one way or the other. Don't let this drag on till deadline day and we haven't got any other options, because if we had other options, we have to do it. But yeah, Chelsea, I mean, many players are they dealing with in and outs and transfers and loans. I mean, they probably just discovered he was there last week. Oh, forgot about him. He was behind the sofa. And I think, yeah, but if we can get him in, yeah, I want shiny toys. Yeah, and it'd be great. It'd be great to come in. We can just about pronounce his name, can't we? Mudryk. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, I can do that. No, it'd be a great signing, and it would really boost our squad, And we've still got we've still got, am I right in saying 4 places left in that squad? I mean, the under-21s don't count in that 25. Yep. Keeper comes in, maybe 22, him, and we need a couple more as far as boosting the backup and that. So don't let it drag, do the deal. And I'm sure there's, from what you can tell with the journals and what's going on Twitter and everything else, that there's obviously back and forth. Coventry are interested, and of course there's the Lampard, there's the link there. Would he want to go there? Would he want to be in a relegation battle? I know that's a bit presumptuous, but
sorry, Gerry, just to correct you there. Frank Lampard's Coventry. You
Coventry,
forgot right.
For now.
Sorry.
For now. Yeah. Does he want to go there with a man who's not embracing his baldness?
Oh,
I don't
think
so.
Cut it off, Frank. Cut it off.
Yeah, let it go, Frank. You're looking a pathetic middle-aged man. But yeah,
I don't know,
would he want to go there? I don't think so.
No.
And as you say, Strasbourg, he can do better than that, can't he? That's a sort of, go to Strasbourg. It's going to be dull over there. He wants to stay in the Premier League. He wants to prove himself, and I think he hasn't really, that big when he had that big transfer, which was big at the time, 105 million. We all go, what? And that obviously laid heavy on him. So let's get him in.
Yeah.
But if there's any strings attached, he has to play, or they're dragging it out.
They won't do it. Yeah, Leeds won't do that. It'll be a straight up.
Yeah.
Okay. So. We're going to wrap it up there. Before we do, Gerry, bad news. The Moles have responded this evening. And they're coming for you. So
I did hear a noise last night. Yeah, here's the man. I mean, I'm not good with animals. We couldn't find the cat last night. I realized I'd locked him in the garage last night. Yeah, so the cat strolled out and thought, you're a dickhead. But anyway, he just looked at me. So the Moles probably think of an easy touch. Listen, no strings attached with the Moles. If they want to come and earn their place, fine. If they come and expect them to dig holes and get that, then forget about it. Yeah, it's not happening.
Put them to work. Right, folks, massive thanks to Gerry and Paul for chatting. We'll talk to them again later on in the week. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you tomorrow morning for more Leeds news. Stick a like on the video and give us a follow on the audios. Talk to you soon. See ya. Bye.
Good night.